to today's United Kingdom Talk.
From the Mirrorball Studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
Welcome along, boys and girls. We will go almost, as promised, straight into the emails. Okay, almost, but not quite. Meanwhile, I never got around to telling you on the last show about... Do you remember I said to you that I was having a little bit of a problem with the carpet the other day? Now, what could that problem be? I'll tell you, it's not very pleasant. I'm sorry to start off the programme today with a bit of unpleasantness, because we like to be happy and jolly, don't we? Let's be happy and jolly together. Is that better? Has that made you laugh? You must be prepared in life to do anything to make people laugh. Now and again, we're all a little bit sad. All a little bit sad sometimes. But you must try it. That can be your thing for this week, OK? Wherever you are, make someone smile. If you can't do that with your vocal cords, get your finger and tickle them underneath the arm. Now, some people are not ticklish there. Look. Well, not at the moment. Why is it that sometimes we are ticklish and other times we aren't ticklish? Look, now, I'm going to take my finger and prod it into my waist. Nothing. I'm now going to tickle the bottom of my foot. Nothing. What's all that about, eh? Incidentally, there is a very strange club that I've heard about that people are into... I don't know if I should tell you this. I mean, it's... Can we talk about this sort of thing on the radio? Into foot fetishes. Yes, you heard right. Foot fetishes. A club that people go to. It's true. And do you know what they do at this club? They tickle and touch each other's feet. I don't know. I mean, what right have we got to criticise that? Have you got any little secrets like that, I wonder? Are you a foot fetish person? Maybe you go to that club, do you? Eh? Very odd. A foot fetish club, but we don't hold that against... If you like feet, you like feet. Personally, I can take them or leave them. You know, breakfast, lunch or dinner, I can take or leave feet. Preferably not smelly ones. But feet are feet, aren't they? Anyway, back onto this story. Now, the reason I mentioned feet is because it's all to do with my carpet story, which won't go on forever and ever, like I usually do, because there's stacks and stacks of emails to it. Look at them all. Look at them all today. They're building up, dear. That's what we like, and keep them coming in. The email address of the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Do you know, I'm kind of wondering, now that I mentioned that foot fetish thing, I wonder if we've got anyone viewing or listening at the moment who has a foot fetish. Can you imagine that? Going to a club and laying on some sort of, I don't know, well, you wouldn't have to lay, would you? You could sit down. You could sit down with a friend opposite you and get him to tickle your feet. And that's what they like. There's all sorts of different fetishes, many of which we cannot go on to on this family-orientated programme. But foot fetishes, I think we can touch on. I wonder, actually, if my nephew and his girlfriend are into that. I wonder if they sit up in their room and tickle each other's feet. I mean, is it awful? Is it also... I mean, because some fetishes... you can do on your own, can't you? Is the foot fetish something one could do on one's own? You know, I mean, I'm gonna see if anything happens. I hope you don't mind me doing this with you, but I've now got a pen. I've got a pen, and I'm gonna tickle my foot. Right, I'm now running the pen down my foot on my rather dirty sock. No, nothing happening. Well, I'm getting nothing out of that at all. Well, each and every one to their own. That's what we say. We do not judge on this programme. People with different fetishes. What are mine? I'm not telling you that. Now, listen. Stop it now. Stop it. You're asking too much of me on today's show, aren't you? You really are. The carpet thing. So, anyway, the other day... I'm outside hanging up the washing in the wind because it was very, very windy here last week. extremely windy, although I seem to have slept through most of it. We had a little bit of damage to buildings, a few trees blown over, quite a nasty storm, which I seem to have slept through. It was it the Sunday before? Was it last Sunday? Sunday before last it was, wasn't it? And I was coming back from work about 2:00 in the morning, and all for the previous few days, all the weather forecasters had been telling us to watch out for this really nasty storm, which was going to be the worst one of the winter. I mean, the way they were talking, it was going to be similar to the one that we had here in the UK in 1987, I think it was. It was 1987, something like that. And that one was really bad. That was dreadful. So I'm on my way home, sort of, kind of hoping. It's a dreadful thing to say, really, isn't it? I was kind of hoping to be blown away or blown all the way home on the motorway. I'll rephrase that. I was hoping that the car would be blown all the way over. No, that's still wrong, isn't it? I was hoping that the car would be blown all over the place on the motorway. You know, sometimes when you're driving, I mean, it's dangerous, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. And if you're driving in wind and suddenly you feel the wind push you to the side, I was hoping for a little bit of that, because it's always very exciting, but nothing. It wasn't too bad at all. The other thing I noticed, whenever the wind blows the car one way, without even thinking, you tend to steer into it. Have you noticed that? It was a little bit like 2 years ago when I had that flying lesson. I don't know if you was with us then, listening or watching the programme, but a couple of years ago I had a flying lesson. Oh, what a buzz. My word. I have to say, if you ever want to experience something like that, it's well worth saving up the money to do that. Now, it wasn't not a particularly cheap thing to do. I think it cost me just a touch over £100. And that wasn't last August, it was the August before. And I went up and had this flying lesson. Oh, what an experience. I have to say I was scared. Oh, it was scary, but one of the things I've got is I'm afraid of heights. Not too happy about heights at all. So I thought this might overcome it, and I kind of switched off, pretending to myself that actually there was something underneath me, where of course there's not once you're up there in the sky. But what an experience. And it was similar to driving the car when the wind blows, because in those little planes, the slightest bit of wind and you feel it, and it kind of pushes you over to one side. And you sort of steer back into it again, which is strange, isn't it? You know, without even thinking about it. Anyway, back to the story of the carpet. So I'm outside in the wind, hanging up some washing. I thought this won't take long to dry in this wind. That would have been it was Sunday before the storm, because it was quite a nice day on that Sunday. And so I've hung all my washing up, and I've come into the kitchen. I thought there's a funny smell in here, and I thought one of the cats, because one of the cats is very old. Tiny, I think I've told you before, one of my long-haired cat. She's very old. Yes, she has made an appearance on this programme before. Do you remember? I felt a little bit... Is it Pussy Galore in one of the James Bond films? Where that bloke's in, he's got this cat sitting on his lap. Well, it was a bit like that on the show a couple of months ago. I don't know if anyone saw that one. Anyway, so if I go, maybe the cat's gone somewhere. So I'm having a little look around, because she always goes and I can't work it out. She's only been doing that the last few months. She started doing her business on the kitchen floor in the corner, and I don't know why. It doesn't matter what I put down there. I've even put objects there to stop her going there, and then she just goes in front of the objects, which is a bit odd. Do you remember my talking Dalek? Well, I tried that as well. I switched it on automatic. So when you turn the Dalek on automatic, I've got a talking Dalek downstairs. I'm not going to go downstairs now and show it to you. We haven't got time. We've got all these to get through, dear. But I've got this talking Dalek, and it's automatic. And if you switch it to a certain setting, it says things and does things when someone walks near it. So I switched that on as well and put that in the position to where she keeps doing her business. It didn't make any difference at all. She just ignored it. A fat lot of good that is. So I don't know why she's doing it. I've put bleach down. cleaned it, scrubbed it with a brush, and she still does it. But she's very old, so I'm not blaming her. Maybe she can't. Sometimes she can't get out the door. So I'm looking around, and I couldn't find it. You know, always horrible smelling, and you knew it was cat business. So then, I thought, oh, it must be coming in from outside. I then walked through the hallway and up the stairs and here into the Mirrorball studios, and I'm thinking, I can still smell that. And I thought, oh no, I know what's happened. Because I go outside in my garden in my slippers. Do you do that? Have you got a garden? Who goes outside their garden in slippers? Do you? Well, anyway, I did. And I'm thinking, oh no. So I've looked at my slipper and there it is. On the slipper, dear, and I'd traipsed it through the entire house. Oh, and it was only, a very small bit. Well, of course it was a small bit by the time I got up here, because I'd left it all on the carpet coming up the stairs, dear. Oh, my word. Do you know that carpet on that? I've got to tell you, I hope you don't think this is disgusting, but that carpet on the stairs is got to be at least 15 years old. Well, it's been there since I've been here. But it doesn't wear out, because obviously there's no children in the house. There's only me going up and down the stairs. And to save money on carpets, I've worked out that it's probably a good idea to tiptoe around the house so as not to flatten the carpet anywhere. You know? It's another way of me saving money. I'm always open to more suggestions on how to save money on anything, OK? Do let me know your suggestions. I'll be pleased to pass them on to our worldwide global listenership. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So there I'm smelling it. I thought, oh, I can't stand it. I can't bear it. So I took the slippers off. And but I mean, you had to take the slippers off. And I put them outside. And honestly, to be honest, I'm going to chuck them away, but I've left them in the garden and they're still there. They're actually soaking wet now from all the rain we've had here in the storms a couple of weeks ago. So I'll probably, in fact, when I finish the show, I'm going to chuck them in a bin and go and buy another pair, because they're only about £5 now for a pair of slippers, £5 or £10, something silly like that. And I've got I think my old ones in here somewhere, have I? I've got them in the floor. I think they must be in the bedroom somewhere. I don't know where I've put those. So that's it. And I went straight down, because I can't. That's one thing I can't stand. I don't do dusting, very, very rarely do dusting. The hoovering comes out once a week. But once you get that smell, oh, it's just vile. So I went down to my cupboard and I found a tin of 1001 carpet spray cleaning stuff. I got those how long it's been in there, and it's got a little, like, plastic brush on the end. So you kind of push the button in on the tin, and then you got spread it, foam stuff onto the carpet, and then brush it with this thing, and then I think you're supposed to blot it with some paper or something, and then hoover it up. So I got a bit of that. Of course, I thought, and I looked at the stairs. Oh no, it's on every single step in it. Not loads, it's not loads, but just a little bit on each step. You think to yourself, oh, nearly fell over then. You think to yourself, is it mud or is it cat dirt? And you I hope you're not having your dinner, are you? You kind of, you get down to the carpet, and you have a little sniff at it. Oh no, it's cats. So I got the 1001. And I did half the stairs. I sprayed it on and give it a good brush. And then I went up to the supermarket and got another one, which seemed to be a more environmentally friendly one, with the trigger spray. The trouble is with those trigger sprays, I don't know if you've found this as well, they don't always work very well, do they? Now, I've got that... I use that cleaning stuff. Oh, my word. What's it called? It's in a purple trigger spray bottle. Not shake and vac. Shake and vac's a powder, isn't it? Oh, I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. What is it called? Oh, it's advertised heavily on the telly. I think it might be an Australian product, actually. With Dan someone or other. Cleaning, what's it called now? I can't remember. That's gone right out my head, that has. Oh, let me ring someone and find out. Just a minute now. Someone will know this. I've got to tell you that I'm starting talking about it. Let me see. Let's ring my sister. She'll know. It's a good job I have these people. You see, if I had a producer or anything like that, they'd be able to tell me straight away. But good morning, Martin. It's Martin, my... it's all right, they're not listening, only me listening. Don't worry, it's our secret. Listen, cleaning product in a purple bottle, heavily advertised on the telly with, I think, someone called Dan. Do you know what that is? Sillet Bang, thank you very much. That's it. Thank you very much, Martin. Goodbye. That's my brother-in-law, Martin. Sillet Bang, that's the one. Now, I quite like that. I think it does the job quite well. But sometimes I find with it, you know, the spray thing, sometimes it sprays like properly, like all over, like, you know, you get a wide spray. And other times it's just... and it doesn't cover the area, and you seem to use twice as much. I wonder if they started changing the spray end so that you get through more of the product. What do you reckon? That's the sort of thing they do, isn't it? But anyway, so that's what I use, Sillet Bang, and those trigger things I never find, I quite often find don't work as well as they should have done. So I went up and got some more 1001 carpet cleaner, and then I did the rest of the stairs, and but that didn't have its own, like, brush thing on the end, so I used that. And what did I do? I think I got some. So you can't do it with paper or toilet paper because it just disintegrates, doesn't it, as you're doing? So I got that, and I got the I've got a scrubbing brush downstairs that I use sometimes. Probably, yes, I know. Yeah, it's used sometimes for my face. You know, to try and scrape off the wrinkles. Well, I used it as well for the carpet. And I sort of rubbed it in and hoovered it up, and all nice and clean. And I tell you what, maybe I shouldn't tell you this. I tell you what, the stairs look really clean now. I've never carpet cleaned the stairs. Actually, I've never carpet cleaned any of this house. I mean, it gets hoovered, but I've never been carpet cleaned, and I'm now tempted to actually get a carpet cleaner in here because those stairs really do look very different. And all I did was I got some, you know, to get rid of the cat dirt smell and all that, which is now incidentally gone. Don't worry, I'm not sitting here at the moment with cat dirt fumes coming over to me. I wouldn't do that to you. I promise I wouldn't. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. I think I'm going to sneeze now. Oh dear, see, the nose has started again. Here we go. Every single show, isn't it now? This has been going on for months. Is it going to sneeze? No, it's not going to happen. Yeah, the carpet now. It came, once I 1001 carpet sprayed it. Rub that in with a scrubbing brush. You have to leave it to dry for an hour or so, and then hoover it up. It looks really clean. It does. It's a red carpet, like a burgundy colour carpet in the hallway. And as I say, it's not a new carpet. It's about 15 years old, but it's still got life left in it. You know me. I don't like to replace things if they're still working, dear. Don't spend money if you don't have to. That's the secret. But I you know, and it's now bright. The carpet on the stairs is now a brighter colour than the carpet in the on the landing. It's all the same carpet because, of course, I haven't done a bit on the landing. So I'm now tempted. I might get, as a one-off, someone to come in and clean all the carpets. Has anyone ever done that? Because, you know, I've got some properties which I rent out. Those, I have to get those done. When tenants move out, before the next one moves in, I do get the places professionally cleaned and the carpets cleaned usually. But I've never, to be honest, I've never really seen it for myself, how it would be in my own house. And I'm thinking here, if that hallway carpet has come up so clean after just a little bit of 1001, what would the whole house be like if I have the whole house carpet cleaned? I think it'll look really nice. So I might do that. I know there's some people at the moment screaming at me, why don't you just buy one of those carpet cleaner things like a Vax or something like that? Well, let me tell you, I had a Vax once. Oh, dear. That is really hard work. Anyone used a Vax before? I mean, don't get me wrong. Good product, quite a good product. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear, did you hear that? There's nothing we can do about human functions. I do apologise. It's just one of those things. I could edit the show out if you wanted me to, but that would spoil the fun, wouldn't it? I like to just start everything running, it stays on for an hour, and then that's it. We don't go back over everything and fix things here. We don't do it. This is life in the raw, sir. It really is. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have that carpet done. But the Vax, it is good, and there are other, I'm sure there are other carpet, what would you call it? Wet carpet cleaners like the Vax. I had a Vax. I think I used it 3 times. It was blooming hard work. Oh, my word. I mean, you see the adverts on the telly, and they effortlessly glide across the floor. Well, I don't know if I was doing it wrong or what, but really hard work, the Vax. So I got rid of it in the end. Who did I give it to? I think I gave it to my sister. I think she used it once as well, and that was enough. I mean, but, you know, to be honest, when I did the Vax, I mean, the water was filthy. Absolutely filthy. There's a lot to say for people in Spain and Italy and places like that who only have stone floors. I mean, there really is. I mean, they're always clean, aren't they? But cold, I suppose. Do they have underfloor heating at these places? You know, where they have, like, stone and marble? Wouldn't that be lovely to have a marble floor? Oh, beautiful. I tell you what I would like, a marble worktop in the kitchen. But in all honesty, I mean, my kitchen was fairly cheap from one of the DIY places here in the UK. Again, this is about 15 years old now, and I've got a feeling if I ever wanted a marble top put on that, the whole thing would probably collapse, dear. So there we are. That was my carpet story that I neglected to tell you because we ran out of time at the end of the last story. So sorry about that. All right. OK, on to some emails. Now, here's an interesting one. And quite honestly, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to show my face in Pizza Hut in Bracknell again. Because I've received this letter, handwritten, look at this, handwritten from my nephew and his girlfriend, who came down a couple of weeks ago, you might remember, to decorate a couple of my rooms, which they've done reasonably well. Yes, thank you very much. It says, Chris, here are the receipts for the keys. Sorry it took so long. Yes, they've sent some receipts because I recently bought a property up north, which is quite near where my nephew, where my sister's family live. So I've decided that any work that ever needs doing to it, I will ring them first. Right, the estate agent will ring me because it's all rented out for estate agents. So I do it all properly. You mustn't cut corners with this because you can get in terrible trouble. You start collecting rents and things yourself. It's one thing I could never do, you see. If a tenant got into trouble and they were renting it kind of directly from me, then I would kind of say, well, pay us next month. It's really not a good idea to do that. Because then, instead of owing whatever the figure is, say it's $500 a month, instead of owing you $500, then they owe $1,000. And it just doesn't work. And most people, unfortunately, they haven't got the sense to say, well, I haven't got the $500, can I give you $300? They would rather not pay the $500 at all and then wait, and then it starts rolling over. And really, you can't do that. It's not a good thing. I probably would say, yeah, OK, don't worry about it, pay it next time. Right, but you can't do that. That's why I do it all proper through an estate agent. If they default on one payment, they're onto them. You know, unfortunately, that's how you have to be. It's a business. It's not like a charity. That's the way it is. But because it's quite near my sister's house, what I've decided to do is, if there's any work that needs to be done there, give it to my nephew. So I've kind of given my nephew a job, which I love it. I'm really pleased about that. I think I've got a bit of an ambition, really, to have my nephews and my niece all working for me. You know, because they would absolutely do the job, and I wouldn't. You know, I would make sure they were paid a fair amount to do it. I'm all for that. I love the idea of being able to give your family jobs. Although some people, of course, other business people would say that's really not a good idea at all to keep it in the family. I like that idea, don't you? Huh? Have you got sons or daughters, I wonder? Or nieces or nephews yourself, or brothers or sisters, indeed, and you've given them a job? How good does that make you feel? It does, doesn't it? Anyway, before the tenants moved in, I had to get some keys cut. So Gary and his girlfriend Stacey, they went along and got the keys cut, and they've sent the receipts here. You see, they send receipts. Got the receipts here for the keys, and they all go through my books, you see. You have to put them through the books, because that's like a tax deductible item. The cost of the keys would come back to you in the form of a reduced tax bill, basically. OK, it's only £11, but as my mum said, you know, my mum said to me years ago, it doesn't matter how small the amount is, why should they have it? In this case, the tax people. Why should the tax people have the £11 if, quite legally, you can have it back? So that's what I do. Every little receipt, I put every single thing that I spend out either on my properties or the DJing work or any of the stuff that I have to do with my jobs, every single little receipt I put through. Because they all add up, you know. I mean, that may only be £11, OK? But, you know, you might have a £5 next week. Say it was only a £5 a week, which may not sound a lot of money. Well, over the year, that's over £500 less off your tax bill. So that's what you must do. All right, so I'll put that on there. She says here, also, I sent you a few other bits. I think Stacey, that's Gary's girlfriend, has written this. A couple of photos of Katie and Tiny. Yeah, she's taken some photos of my cats when they were here. As Katie, she's like the little brown and white one. She's kind of looking up at the camera. And there's Tiny. She's the poor old soul. There she is. She's the poor old one. She's got lots of long fur, which keeps getting matted up now. And we call her Tiny, Queen of all that is evil. What else? She's saying in a letter. She says there are photos when we took my little nephew Jimmy, because he went out. His Christmas present was to go to Chelsea. And there's a picture of Jimmy and his older brother, Gary, who did the decorating for me. And there's a picture of Jimmy and Stacey, who is Gary's girlfriend, and he looks so pleased. And there's also a picture of Jimmy looking really happy, and he's standing in front of all these cups at Chelsea. And I think it's quite an expensive thing to go and take him to do that, but well worth it. And he had a great time. And price-wise aside, I think Chelsea, the football club, thank you to Chelsea Football Club. I know it is a business and what have you, but they made a little boy very happy that day. They looked after them. And that's nice, you know, that's nice. And also, now, I did say to you a minute ago, I don't know how I'm ever going to show my face in Pizza Hut again. Because while Gary and Stacey were here, I did take them to Pizza Hut for a bit of a meal on the Saturday, I think it was, before they went home. And she says here, let me just have a sniff, just a minute. That's better. You didn't hear that, did you? A couple of... My nose is really itching. Is nose itching? Is that someone talking about me? Or is that money coming to me or leaving me? I'm not quite sure. What's the other bit he says? There we are, here we are. Oh, a copy of the newspaper article of me and Gary. It should be Gary and I, Stacey, incidentally. Sorry to correct your English, darling. It's Gary and I. Because my nephew and his girlfriend have been in the local paper up north called the... is it the Target? I'm not quite sure what it's called now. Let me have a look. Horncastle Target. That's it. And it says that Stacey finds her feet. I don't know if you saw or heard the show a couple of weeks ago, which you can find indeed on the main United Kingdom Talk website. You can listen or watch the shows now, of course. But Stacey and Gary were talking about the Prince's Trust, or Stacey was doing most of the talking, actually. As she usually does, incidentally. In fact, to be honest, sometimes I have trouble getting a word in edgeways sometimes when she's talking. And I know you'll find that hard to believe, won't you? Eh? Anyway, Stacey and Gary have been very lucky to have got the Prince's Trust, which is a charitable organisation here in the UK, and helps young people, if they have business ideas, it helps young people on their feet by providing them with money. And I'm not quite sure if is it a loan that they have to pay back? I think they have to pay it back eventually. Let's have a look. Stacey got a trust grant of £1,500 and a loan of £1,500 to get her mobile business. And she does, what is it? She does now reflexology. Anyway, and they got in the local paper, which is quite good. I think they need to do some advertising, both of them, on their business. They're not too up with the advertising. I said to them, one of the cheapest ways to do advertising is literally, you know, on your printer at home, get some leaflets printed. They don't have to be colour or anything posh like that, do they? Get some leaflets printed and post them through people's doors. Simple as that. I mean, if you was to... I don't know how much would probably 1,000 bits of paper isn't going to cost that much, is it, to print in black and white? If you printed 1,000 bits of paper and got one job from those thousands of bits of paper, it's probably worthwhile. But of course, you know, it's your time and effort that you then have to spend posting it through people's doors and pinning them up on boards and things like that. You know, it takes a long time to do that. So I did say to them, next time I go up there, I'm quite happy to go out and post some letters. It'd be quite nice, that, sort of learning the area. Anyway, here's the bit. Here's the bit. I said to you, I don't know how I'm ever going to show my face in Pizza Hut in Bracknell ever again. I'm just hoping to God that no one reports me to Pizza Hut for this, or indeed Stacey or Gary, because look, she says, I also include the 3 packets of sugar I stole for you from Pizza Hut. Are you ready for this? Look, 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 look. Oh my God, look. 3 packets of sugar stolen from Pizza Hut. Terrible. I didn't know, you know, that my family are now turning into criminals. Terrible. 3 little packets of white sugar stolen from Pizza Hut. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, amen. Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned. I went, no, hang on a minute, I didn't steal these. No, don't get me wrong. But clearly now, I could be a target, couldn't I, for receiving stolen goods. These 3 packets of sugar are stolen goods. And not only that, they've come in the post. How do I know this hasn't been x-rayed? Is there anything else in there? No. How do I know? See, what I reckon has happened is that this envelope here, with the stolen packets of sugar in it, dear, listen, can you hear them? With the stolen, I reckon that this has been x-rayed by the post office. And I reckon they saw the stolen sugar in there. I reckon the police were informed and they let the sugar through to my house, watching it go. And they're waiting to pounce at this very moment. I'm just waiting for the bell to ring. Where is our sugar? Pizza Hut are going to ring me, I know they are. Oh, God, I'm going to be in the local paper and everything. Chris Reardon receiving 3 packets of stolen sugar through the post from Pizza Hut. God. It's all over, isn't it? It's finished. I'm finished. So there we are. I'm sorry, I couldn't do the show and not confess to you. You know there's no secrets here, dear. I could not do the show and not confess to you. There we are. I have been in receipt of stolen goods. 3 very small packets of sugar. There we are. I'm not going to say it runs in the family, because I don't want to bring my mother's reputation into disrepute. My dear mother, who I lost in November 2000, but she too used to get little packets of sugar and salt and pepper, everything that was going. Even the occasional packet of tomato sauce, I think she had. Who else does that, eh? I think when we were clearing out Mum's house, we found, I'm sure my sister probably found quite a lot of those little packets of sugar in her cupboard. Isn't it terrible, eh? All right, let's do some more emails. Oh, by the way, the shirt I've got on today, I've got stripes on today. This is a shirt, I actually bought this from Slovakia when I visited there in 2000 and... Oh, not last year, so what's 7, 6, 5... 2005. Oh, my God, was it 2 years ago? In 2005, I bought this shirt from Slovakia. Very high-quality shirt. It was only £20. Things are so cheap there. It's unbelievable. I was visiting a radio station, RTI, which is quite a large station in Slovakia, where this programme is incidentally goes out on. So a warm welcome along to the people of Slovakia via RTI. I hope you're well. Now, let's have some more emails then. Hello to... Let me see. Oh, here we go. Hello to Gordon, who I haven't heard from for ages. Gordon Sharp. Hello, Gordon. He says, haddock portions. What is this man on about? Were you listening to my... I was talking about haddock the other day. We do like haddock. I have usually 2 bits of haddock on a Friday and a Saturday for dinner. And I tend to buy it wrapped in breadcrumbs or beer batter. That's quite nice. Have you had a portion of haddock in beer batter? And it is nice. While I was in the supermarket the other day, I did see haddock, and it didn't have anything. It was just haddock. There was no coating or anything like that, so it was 100% haddock. I was tempted to buy it, but in all honesty, I wasn't quite sure to cook it. Do you just put it in the oven for 20 minutes, the same as the other stuff? Or the same as the coated stuff? Or has that stuff already had something done to it? And also, if you was to buy haddock just as it is, so 100% haddock, does it still have the bones in it? Because I can't be doing with bones. Oh, no. And they're dangerous, aren't they, fish bones? They get caught in your throat. Gordon in Doncaster says, "Hi Chris, yes, been on the site for the first time in ages and clicked on the YouTube video of your show while I was making lunch." Or I hope you weren't making lunch today while I was talking about the cat dirt, were you? Sorry about that. But we like to share our things, don't we? We share things. If you visit the seaside, like Scarborough and Whitby in North Yorkshire, and go into a chippy, they serve haddock with the skin on, inside the batter. Which I don't think I've had. I might have had this. Would I have noticed? That's the thing. Would I have noticed that there was skin on it or not, if it was in batter or breadcrumbs? I might not have noticed, you see, that's the thing. It's traditional to do it that way. The skin is edible, and they normally take all the bones out, so nothing to worry about. Okay. So, thanks for that. But you're still not answering my question there, Gordon. Can if I was to buy haddock in the supermarket, in a packet, but just haddock and not with the breadcrumbs or the batter on, just the haddock, would they have had the bones out on that? Or it probably says on the packet, actually, doesn't it? Because presumably, it surprises me when you read, I tend to read ingredients of all these things now before I buy them. I don't know about you. But, for example, a piece of battered haddock or breadcrumbs haddock, and you read the ingredients, it says haddock, 67%. And batter is 67, 87, 97, 98, no, 33%. I was doing it on my fingers then. Did you notice that? I'm not very good at adding up. And it seems an awful lot of batter. And I'd rather have just haddock and none of... Because I don't like additives, you see. Although it is quite nice, the batter. If it's that much, I'm surprised when you get that bit of fish and it's only 67%. That surprises me. I thought it would be more like 90%, but it's not. I could cope with 90% haddock, 10% breadcrumbs, but it's not. So I think I might like to try the haddock on its own and see how that goes. Anyway, I might do that actually this weekend. I'll let you know. Gordon goes on to say, and your camera, well, a webcam isn't meant to be like a TV studio. Well, I know that, yeah, I know that. It works on a rather slow system where it will only scan the image so many times per second. That is partly the reason why the image shudders. It also used an image system that only updates the parts that move. Normally the background remains static and the camera moves and the centre moves as you talk. When you suddenly wave your hand around, should we wave our hands around? Yeah. It has a lot of work to do, so probably halves the number of times it refreshes the image. Okay, I kind of understand that. It's not too technical, is it? So there we are. I know it's not like a TV studio, but I would like to improve the quality of the picture a bit, although it's not too... I'm reasonably happy with it now. If you look at it as a small image, it actually looks a lot better. But if you blow it up, which you can do on computers, of course, if you want to look at a bigger image, then it's a little bit misty and blurred, isn't it? Now, I've had two people now recommend cameras. One person recommend the Sony cameras, the little Sony webcams, but they are quite pricey. And apparently two people now have told me the Sony webcams are quite difficult to set up. I don't know why that is. Someone else has now suggested a Microsoft camera that, mind you, the top-end ones, not the cheap ones, the ones that will cost probably about 50 quid, $100, something like that. So I might try one of those, which I'll probably order again from dabs.com, because I was very impressed with the service, because I sent the other camera back eventually, and within a couple of days they'd credited my account back. So I was very, very impressed. You see? Companies should listen to that. I've got good service from them, so I'm going back. You know, I was unhappy. They did something about it. So now I want to buy something else. I go back to the same company. Very good service there. Dabs.com. Fantastic. Gordon says, on the subject of bathroom scours, some people will adjust them so that they reflect the way that they were at the sports centre, doctors or wherever. So adjust the thing to lose the £5 you dispute. When you stand on them, they will show 11 stone 8. OK, next time you use them, they should not go above the 12 stone mark. Or, if they do, you need to hot foot it to the sports centre and check it on theirs. Oh, and you must wear the same clothes and have the same amount of loose change in the pockets and all that. Yeah, it's a bit of palaver, really, weighing yourself all the time, isn't it? Maybe I should just weigh myself naked when I get out of bed in the morning, because I don't wear pyjamas. Do you sleep naked, incidentally? Who sleeps naked in bed? Oh, it's marvellous to have all that freedom there, completely naked. Sometimes I am now considering walking around the house naked as well, with the curtains open. What do you think? Is that a good idea? We'll get one of those photographers with a long range lens on that they follow all the celebrities and the politicians with. We get one of those outside the front. I was saying, if he's cute, I'll say to him, "Don't stand there, come in, dear." They run a mile, won't they? And Gordon in Doncaster says, on the subject of the Bruce Forsyth show, well, it wasn't really the Bruce Forsyth show, was it? It was a happy birthday Bruce show, which I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and I'm a great fan of Bruce Forsyth. What a fantastic entertainer! But the birthday show itself, I was a bit disappointed with. If Bruce is going to do a show, it should be him, not other people, kind of congratulating him. Although, of course, it was a birthday show, so I suppose that's how they have to do it. But personally, I would rather have seen Bruce host his own birthday show. I think it's fantastic. I've always been a great fan of his. And, 80. Still going. Bruce Forsyth, Gordon in Doncaster, says, that was enough. Had to turn it off there. Actually, the phone went and I clicked stop instead of pause. Thanks so much to Gordon in Doncaster there. Great to hear from you there. Keep in contact, all right? Keep in contact. We lose contact with too many friends. We do. Hello to Eugene. Now, Eugene says, I'm listening to you from Norway. Good shows. You sound like a sensible bloke, and then you come out with that one about togetherness and the Union flag. Well, I tried. I don't like to be too sensible, as you know. And it's interesting, this. We only kind of touched on the subject of the Union flag because someone else emailed in a couple of weeks ago and mentioned that they were offended by the fact that I have the Union Jack behind me in the background there. What on earth I'm supposed to replace it with? Being patriotic? I don't know. What would you want me to replace it with? You know, that's the thing. Anyway, Eugene, who clearly knows more about this than me, says the Union flag to Scotland represents the pilfering of Scotland's wealth, including North Sea oil, by the London government. There goes the phone. Shall I just let it go? I'll let it go. Just a minute. Let me turn the answer phone off for me.
Please leave a message after the tone. Thank you for calling.
Oh, that's all right. They've hung up. I keep meaning... In fact, I'm going to do it now. I keep meaning to turn the bell off on this phone. I'm going to do it now because I can turn the bell off somehow. Oh, where is the button? Oh, it is off. Oh, what's ringing then? Oh, it's the other one over there. I've got one of those wireless phones. I wonder who it was. Just a minute. Dying to know who that was now. 1 minute. Oh, it's a number withheld. How annoying is that? Never mind. Right, I tend to leave the home answer phone on now all the time because I keep getting rung up by these people trying to, please listen carefully, and you get this recorded message telling me that they want to lend me money. Well, I don't want to borrow any money, thank you very much. Not any of your dirty loan shark money, thank you. Anyway, back to Eugene's letter. I'll read that bit again. The Union flag to Scotland, Eugene says, represents the pilfering of Scotland's wealth, including North Sea oil, by the London government. I'm not Scottish, however, I am from Northern Ireland, and this is much the same as Scotland, except in our case they have been secretly bombing their own soldiers, blaming both sides in the north for their dirty deeds in order to keep spending the money they earn from North Sea oil on defence contracts. He says, just Google it, MI5 and whistleblower. All right, so if you want to have a look at that, Google. What are we saying to Google here? Union Jack. Oh, just Google it. Oh, type into Google MI5 and whistleblower, which I haven't done yet. I'll do it later on. He says you could also do well to read up on the Bilderberg group. You will learn, my friend, that not all is as it seems. Don't get me wrong, I'm not having a go. One cannot possibly be expected to know the truth, as the media is 100% controlled by Bilderberg members. This is what Eugene in Norway is saying. I recommend The True Story of the Bilderberg Group by Daniel Esterlin as compulsory reading. So I'll have a little look about this on the internet. But you see, the thing is that, like, you know, you're saying the Union's flag of Scotland, pilfer of Scotland's wealth by the London government. Okay, there's the words, the London government. I'm not government. I'm not MP. You know, not really into politics or anything like that. I think they're all a bunch of liars. They're all a bunch of liars, and they will take the tax and do anything to get power. I'm just an ordinary person. The flag, I like the look of the flag. And what does one replace it with? You put a flag of England up, it's a little bit, it's almost a bit separatist to me to put a flag of England up. I do prefer all together. You know, can we not have a flag that says we're all friends and we're all together? How many ordinary English people would go to Scotland and start a row with someone Scottish? We wouldn't do that. Or I wouldn't do that. I want to go up there and shake their hands. Well, mind you, that's the same in most countries all countries that I would go to. I'm quite happy to go anywhere and talk to people. Love it. Love finding out about things. Okay, I probably wouldn't eat their food. Well, the Scottish is the same food as us. But if I was to go perhaps somewhere like I'd love to go to China, but I think I'd have a problem with the food because I'm a bit funny with food. That's all. But how fantastic to meet all these other people. And that flag to me, it says to me that we're all together. That's what it says to me as a person. Now, you're telling me it doesn't really mean that. Okay, fair enough. But still, to me as a person, I look at that flag. Look at that flag behind me, and I think England, Scotland, Ireland, all together. All together. One big happy family, aren't we? Aren't we one big happy family? I think we are. I think it's a little bit... sometimes like extremists. you get English extremists, I suppose, who are all England. And we got Scottish extremists who are Scottish, and Welsh and Irish. Me, I'm a little bit more in the middle. I quite like everyone for what they are, really, I think. Yeah. Eugene also says, good luck with your free TV. By the way, ever thought of a Dreambox? He says, then you get everything free, not just Sky UK, but everything else too. Yeah, I did have a look. I did a Wikipedia search, which is like an online encyclopedia type thing. I did do a Wikipedia search on Dreambox. Looked ever so complicated, dear. Blimey, I should never be able to work something like that. So that will not be entering into my house. I don't watch an awful lot of TV anyway. Really, just the main channel. I have Freeview now, which works very well since I had my aerial fixed. I do have a Sky dish, but it only receives the free channels. I don't have the time or inclination to sign up, or indeed the money. I mean, it's very expensive now to have all the TV channels. You get various different packages, but if you wanted all the channels all the time, it's fairly, I think it's about £45 a month. That's a hell of a lot of money. Hell of a lot of money. So I'm quite happy with the channels that are free. I get enough on there. He says, if you have a chipped Xbox, you can also watch a lot of high-quality TV streams free on that as well. Thank you, Eugene. I don't know what is a chipped Xbox. I'm not quite sure what that is. Yeah, I don't know if you want to write back and explain to me. I don't know what a chipped Xbox... Does that mean it's had something done to it, I would guess? Is that an illegal thing or what? I don't know. You tell me. And I did reply to Eugene, and I said... Thanks. I just said basically what I said to you, that I quite like the Union flag, and it means to me that we're all together in as one happy family. He says, hi, Chris. And I asked him about the midnight sun, because Norway, I thought Norway was where you get to see the midnight sun. That is something I would like to see. And funnily enough, Norway isn't too far away from here, of course, is it? From the UK. And I did say to Eugene, do you see the midnight sun? And he says, hi, Chris. No, mate, too far south here for the midnight sun. Too far south here for the midnight sun, so he doesn't see it. Just thought I'd point out North Sea oil to you, as I wondered for years if anyone in Scotland would ever figure out that really Scotland is financing England and getting lower wages and shorter life expectancy in return. I think male life expectancy in Scotland is only 68. Is that right? You know, it's funny that, you know, you just imagine Scotland as... When you think of Scotland, when I think of Scotland, I don't really think of Glasgow and Edinburgh and the main towns and cities. I think of the Highlands. The beautiful scenery there. I've been lucky enough to go up there a couple of times, not recently, with the Scouts camping, and we went to the most stunning wild place called the Isle of Mull. Oh, beautiful. And I've got a story there. I'm just looking at the clock here, and I haven't really got time to tell you these stories today, because we're not even going to get through half of these, are we? But the Isle of Mull, we went there with the Scouts years ago, I will tell you, and we went walking, and we're climbing up mountains and things like that with rucksacks on and tents in our bags, and... Oh, it was fantastic. And then one night, it was quite dark. It wasn't late. It was only about 7 o'clock at night, but it was pitch black. And we were lost. We were lost on top of this blooming great big hill or mountain, whatever it was. But we walked around for a bit, and eventually we saw this light. We made our way down to this light, which was, of course, a house. Now, we didn't knock on the door, but we found the light, and then we were, OK, well, at least we know people are around us now. Let's put the tents down and go to sleep, because, you know, we were tired now. So we put the tents up and went to sleep. We got up in the morning, and I thought I'd just go out the tent, you know, to go to the toilet. I walked out the tent, and we didn't realise we'd pitched our tits at... What did I say then? We'd pitched our tents. Sorry. Oh, dear. Every word's mixed up then. We'd pitched our tents tents. That was it. We'd pitched our tents below this bridge, and there were all these people looking over, wondering where these tents. They probably thought we'd just moved here or something like that. We'd pitched our tents next to the river. And all these people. It was obviously a little village. So that was quite funny, that was. But nice people. They came down and spoke to us and what have you. And we said we got lost. Yes, don't worry about it. Just take your rubbish with you. Very important, of course, if you ever go camping or that. Always take the rubbish with you. Because it's not really not very nice to leave rubbish all over the place. I mean, I've seen it before. People who are, they think they're campers and they're not because they leave tins and things. If it's not on, take it home with you. Let's see. I didn't know, but, you imagine Scotland as being people who are out in that open all the time, and that's good for you, but I didn't know it was only 68. He says, anyway, going by your flag, I'm probably on the other side of the fence from you. My wife is on your side, but the fence is only there to keep people occupied and fighting. They don't want people to start asking questions. I've always been one for tearing down such fences and seeing the big picture. That's what we should be doing in the world, not just our own little countries, tearing down fences and all getting on together. I wonder what will come out when someone calculated from the profits from the North Sea. Oh, I bet they're more than a month than the Scottish Parliament gets for a year. Yeah, probably right. But that's not for you guys, not me. That's for you guys, not me. I'm quite happy causing trouble for the Bilderbergers here in Norway. So thank you very much for that, Eugene. I'd like to see fences torn down. Do you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see people, especially from different religious organisations, Catholics, Jewish, Buddhists, Muslims, all together. I'd like to see the big leaders get together for a service together and for it to be televised all over the world. How fantastic would that be, eh? I didn't get through half of these emails. I'll try and do some more on the next show, OK? Thank you very much for watching. Email address chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye now.